What's up, everyone? Be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Finally, the moment we've all been waiting for. Well, I don't know about you, but I've been waiting for this video for such a long time because here you have It's Complicated channel, you have mediocre tutorials and reviews, and you have the Godfather himself, Kevin R. Samuels. Let's get into it.
We out here on the streets of Vegas, getting it popping, asking the questions and getting the answers that you guys want to see. You understand me? Kevin, what's up?
What's going on? What's going on? What is going on, man? Nieces and nephews, kinfolks and cousins, we out here in Las Vegas. I'm on the hunt for the elusive Shirley and Karen Maximus. Have not found them yet. Oh, looks like a potential candidate. She might need to buy a dog or die alone. Next.
You fool.
Without further ado.
Why is it that a woman's love is more likely something that needs to be earned through courtship than a man's love?
Because women desire more things than men, I think. As in, like, love and affection. And men are like, let's get
And money and everything else.
some.
Schizo?
Let's get some!
Schizophrenic?
No, let's get some!
Oh, let's get some.
Yeah.
It's complicated. What about you?
I think that women just desire respect more than men do.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so
So you don't think that men don't want to be respected by their lady in a relationship?
You know, I don't know if I really agree with that, only because women oftentimes are notably attracted to a certain genre of men. They're attracted to the bad boys. Everyone knows this. This isn't anything new. So they tend to be kind of pulled toward these type of men because a part of them love the lifestyle. They love the thrill, but they don't love what else comes with it. And they know what else comes with it. They're fully aware, except it doesn't really compute with them until it's too late. But I mean, we all know that women like bad boys.
oh, for sure. You just don't have to earn it. You just have to act it all the time.
So I guess the question is through courtship, why is it that women expect so much, and that's kind of the standard? Why is it not as even for men to expect as much from a woman?
Well, look at society. Society is always more for the woman, you know, like the homemaker. She's the one giving you children. She's the one who's cleaning your house. She's the one who's doing your laundry. From back in the day. So you take those values that we've learned about as little kids from our grandparents, and then you see them now and you're like, men aren't the same these days. No, it's a different society.
So we're going to talk back in the day. I think also back in the day, men were sacrificed in war. So why is it not seen as an equal, if not greater, contribution?
And not only that, men were also the bricklayers, the pavers, everything else. We were managing and maintaining the grid, the infrastructure, everything you see around you, the plumbing, the electricity. I mean, just everything.
I think because society views women as weak, and so that's why they weren't drafted.
Do you guys believe in that a patriarchy still exists in America?
Yeah, I would say probably.
Uh-oh! What's up?
That's a hard one.
So let me, can I ask a follow-up to that? And then, so if you believe that a patriarchy still exists in America, you think that men are actively oppressing women in our society today?
I think it depends on the man, and it depends on how they grew up with the type of family, because we are kind of getting out of that type of society. But I mean, it takes time.
So if we say that it depends on the man, can't one assume that it's not a system put in place that we still live by today that is oppressing women? Because you're saying that there's maybe some men with some patriarchal type of views.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that disprove the original thing that you said?
I suppose, yeah. Here and there. We said here and there.
Uh-oh.
I got a question. So if we dismantle the patriarchy, who's going to build the world?
Women and men. Women engineers,
I'm an engineer.
Okay.
What percentage of women are in engineering school, would you think?
Oh, I bet you it's less than 20, probably maybe even less than 10. Yeah.
So, and then if you look at the infrastructure, power, transportation, which women are all capable of doing, But do women want to do those jobs?
Oh, of course now. We all know the answer to that. Oftentimes women opt for the easier jobs, and we all know this.
Depends on the woman.
And women are free to choose to do them. So by the numbers, it's fair to say women have chosen that they don't want to.
I mean, who wouldn't want to stay at home and look pretty all day?
But that's the patriarchy.
But that exactly.
It is. It really is.
There are men that do it. There are men that are stay-at-home dads. Yeah.
Probability.
And to kind of add to that, stay-at-home dads, in a general sense, if there's a stay-at-home dad, he has a very short life expectancy. Oftentimes, stay-at-home dads often die from heart disease or some sort of illness. It's not healthy for men to be stay-at-home dads. Men have to be out moving, socializing, because we're just not built to be stay-at-home dads. That's not what we do.
Impossibility, there's a difference between the anecdotal than the norm. So if we dismantle the patriarchy that gave you beautiful Las Vegas and all these buildings, what are women going to do to replace or make the new Las Vegas?
Okay, but as in 30 years ago, were women allowed to do that? Probably. Yes. Well, maybe they were, but like, was it normal for that? No. And it's still.
Women have chosen professions that are more people-based, humanities, and things like this. But you take the good with the bad. That's what I'm saying. If we want to dismantle the patriarchy, all for it. But then women have to be frontline on the military. You know, you can't just want the CEO jobs. You also got to dig the ditches. And do you think the average woman wants to do the dirty, ugly jobs?
I do not. I don't.
So for the patriarchy.
No, I'm not. I'm more of a business person. I'm not gonna go out and. I mean, I'm an insurance agent, so.
What I'm saying, if the patriarchy has made the economy that makes it such that you can be a business person.
Yes, but
that
do
a
I
good
want to
thing?
work construction? No. Do I want to be drafted? No.
So you want men to continue to do those jobs?
Yeah.
Difference, because I'm completely opposite of her, and I would totally do it. I would be on the front lines. I would do like the hard work.
But
No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. Otherwise, you probably would be in the military right now. So you can talk all the talk you want, but we all know that in reality, that's not really the case. Otherwise, you would likely be in the military right now and you would be doing things that kind of support what you're claiming right now.
Would you be on the front lines if they didn't have special requirements for women? Meaning you had to do the same. Okay.
so if the military didn't change the standards for women, you would still want to do it?
Yes.
So there could be an argument there that you wouldn't even meet the standards for that, right? Like, let's say in the military, there's like a 30 pull-up requirement. How much is it?
200-pound deadlift and a 75-pound pack. So most women have been able to do the 200-pound deadlift, but they didn't have the 75-pound pack. Plus, we've changed those standards to accommodate women. And do we get a more military-ready machine that way? Do you think Russia? Do you think China? Do you think they fear a group of men or a group of well-trained women?
I think they fear a group of well-trained soldiers. It doesn't matter, men or women. They are. It does.
And that's one thing I don't understand. Why women just resist understanding that
Yeah, it's not.
This is why you don't see. This is in Las Vegas when you go out. You don't.
And that's a good point because it's like, you know what the answer is. You know that countries are not fearing groups of women who are in the military. It's men who are feared, not the women.
don't see a group of well-trained female bouncers.
Because where I'm from, I do see a couple well-trained.
Is that the norm or is that the outlier?
I mean, it looks pretty normal to me.
Why? My question is, this is an honest question. Why does that the realities that we can see? Why does that seem to confound or upset or frustrate women so much?
And I just don't understand, why is it that she take these anecdotal parts and these anecdotal experiences she's seen and she uses that to eclipse the masses. She knows that that's not the masses, but she's working it as if it is the masses to justify her argument. The need to be right.
It doesn't necessarily frustrate me or like I can't speak for all women, but all I'm saying is that I would do it. I would go ahead and, test my limits and
Well, of course, you can't speak for all women, but it's good to have a general sense what most people would want, what most people could do, what most people would do. We know what most people could, would, and should do.
give you a run for your money.
I want to set up a quick question for you guys, and I want to take a look at your answers. So let's say that you were hanging off the edge of a cliff, and you were blindfolded, and you were going to drop off that cliff, and you know that there's a man on the left side that will pull you up, or a woman on the right side that would pull you up, and you had to choose one or the other. You cannot choose both. Who would you choose to help pull you up?
Instinctively. It depends on what hand went up.
No, I'm saying, who would you choose, the man or the woman, to help pull you up? And your life depended on it. Without knowing their body sizes and compositions.
No, I guess the man, yeah.
The man.
Yeah, you guess.
Like if my other hand went up and it was the woman, I mean...
You might die.
That's okay.
You might.
She said that's okay if she dies. I mean, let's be realistic here. If there's a fire and you're trapped on a 12-story floor, you're hoping that that group of firefighters are strong men, not a group of women. You're hoping that strong men are sent to rescue you. It's the same scenario as if you're in trouble and you call the police. You're hoping that a team of male cops come and save you. You're not expecting a team of female cops to come and save you.
Might plummet to your death.
The way he asked the question is, although it was you have to make a choice, the man or the woman. And that's what tends to confound women, because when asked a simple question that we all know the answer to, it's like, well, I'm going to find a way to split the difference, or find a way to not say man. Why do y'all go through that mental gymnastics when you know you're going to reach for the man, the person is going to give you the best chance to survive, which happens to be the man?
Society tells you men are stronger. If you look at...
Is that society or data?
No. Society doesn't tell me. Observable reality tells you that.
I suppose, but even how you were talking about military standards, they're higher for men because men, I think, are more capable of... Yes.
My hand strength is 17 times more than yours. I can lift stuff. You guys are smaller.
Pull me up the cliff.
No, I'm actually going to push you to the back, and I'm going to go fight. Because you're going to be back servicing the soldiers, helping the soldiers, and we're going to go win the war.
Women are more nourished, like, what is...
Nurturing?
Yeah, nurturing.
Gotcha, girl.
You don't need nurturing Marines.
What I'm saying is, I would have the opposite opinion as her. Nope, I'm not doing it.
My point is, we're to the point to where we're sitting back trying to say, well, women can do this too, and it's not...
And that's the thing. That's the thing. I served in the Marine Corps, and, a lot of the training that we had to go through, there are female Marines, but they're trained a lot different than the males.
As though you can is, should you? What country in the world mobilizes its women and girls to go fight an army of men because of equality?
That's true, but all that matters is that the women who do want to do it have a choice to do it.
Yeah. They can't. They can't meet the standards.
If there's a draft, women are going to opt to transition into their original roles, especially if World War III broke off. You're going to see women left and right transitioning into their old roles of stay-at-home moms and wives and all of that other stuff. They don't want to be out here fighting no war.
Okay, the best MMA woman is not going to beat the worst MMA man.
I agree.
There we go. So if it's about if it's about protecting your home and everything else, you're not going to say, well, let's give women a shot. You're going to say, no, we can have that after you beat those people. We want to live. And see, that's the beautiful thing about this bad old patriarchy. It gives you all this stuff, and it gives you the ability to choose. You know one thing? Feminism is a first world option. You don't have these options in third world country. Survival is paramount. And that's all these conversations are about. And men accept those things. It's just funny to me. It's funny to us men that so many women know the truth, but you just like, it sticks in your throat. It's almost like women are living opposite of reality, and you just want to have the choice to be able to do it. Is that what we're hearing? Choice? Is that what matters more, the choice?
I don't want to do it. I don't want to be in the front lines. No.
Is this all new information for you guys?
It's kind of like a new perspective, I guess, because I don't really look into it like that. I just see people as like people, all equal.
So what do you think are the contributing factors that have led to kind of thinking that from a physical perspective we are more equal than we are different between men and women?
Like, okay,
Did we even ask that question? Are we equal? Say that again. Are we equal? Are men and women equal?
Physically?
Period.
I think that physically men would be stronger, but I think mentally, I think that they could be pretty equal. Just because, I mean, I was a chicken STEM for all of high school, and so when you go to robotics competitions that are international, you see that each team has less than probably 20% as women. I was on a team of 40 people, and there's less than 10.
It's not because from a biological standpoint that we're that much different. It's because women choose different.
Can I ask a question? Why are women offended at the general idea that men are better or more capable than them when they typically choose to date superior men?
Because no one wants to lose. No one wants to be the underdog.
You
And
don't want to lose in a war either.
yeah, okay.
They didn't want to lose the conversation.
We're not losing a fight.
it's just like the word better. Like, why is that a thing? Like, a man is better than me at what?
Second place is the first loser. I'm better. It's better. We were better. You're not in Boise, Idaho right now because Las Vegas is better. You have Hard Rock on. You don't have on TGNY because it's better. Why do we accept better everywhere else between us? And here's the thing. We accept that, but it's like women today almost don't want to hear the fact that there's a hierarchy and there's winners and losers. But y'all do it. You look nice because you get better results. All those things are accurate or true.
So what I heard is I look nice.
Because you chose, but what is, like, women don't like, a lot of women don't want to be objectified, especially in corporate America. But then these same women to go in and put on their makeup, look great, high heels, this, and I'm like, well, then what is this stuff doing? It's simulating a more sensual look. It's almost like you want to penalize men for being men, but you want women to be free to be whoever.
So because somebody puts makeup on and does their hair, that means that they're being more sexual as a person?
What does red lips indicate?
It looks great with my skin tone, and they plump them up.
What does red lips and blush indicate to the human psyche, the male psyche?
I'm not sure I'm not a man,
Sexual flush. Sexual flush. That's why I'm an image consultant in real life. This is why red is associated with sexuality, because in the heat, when you get excited, sexual flush, blood rushes to your lips here. That's why. You may think it looks great, and it looks great to us in a different way. It's sexual.
So what if you're doing business with a woman and you look sexual? What does that do for anybody?
What is a lot of men today that choose to kind of opt out of alone time conversations with women in the corporate environment because of how it can be misconstrued?
I'll take that. What if you're doing business with a woman and it's what? Sexual?
You look presentable as in a sexual way. How does that benefit anybody if you're working among women?
Women leverage their looks to their advantage, as you should. Women leverage our power and our status to our advantage, as we should. On my way up here, I had 2 showgirls slap me on my ass and tell me, "Ooh, looking good." If I did that, I'd be in handcuffs. I got it on camera, by the way, guys. See, it's okay. It's one thing. I don't begrudge women looking good. I come from sales. You don't really see unattractive salespeople because they don't sell products. You don't see slovenly, overweight, unattractive salespeople. People put women out there, especially, and women know this. So if you're willing to accept that double standard because it benefits your career and your finances, you take it also what comes with it. You can't say, "Look at me and how nice I look." Then if a guy hits on you, it's toxic masculinity. Which one is? You can't have both. You got to choose.
I think there's a time and a place to hit on somebody. And if we're talking about workplace, If a lady looks nice, that's not an innuendo to be like, hey,
30%
let me
of married
flirt.
couples meet at work.
I don't doubt that.
So that's bullshit. The time and the place is when women say it's okay for them, but it's always wrong for us.
Do you think it's true women often find attractive men cute and romantic when an ugly one doing the exact same thing is creepy?
Personally, I mean, if it looks like maybe
What's the difference between a catcall and a compliment?
Huge respect.
Well, how do you define respect when approaching a woman?
The difference between a catcall and a compliment is whether they think you're hot enough.
Well, it could be the manner on how somebody does it. Like if you were to walk up to me like, "Hey, you look really nice today. I like your red lipstick." Or
No, but if that's a homeless person that says that, are you going to take it the same way?
yeah, probably.
That's BS. No, she's not. No, she's not.
There's no difference between a
Corporate America, the difference between sexual harassment and an accepted advance is just whether or not the woman likes you.
I suppose, but to the question that you asked, it is
That's a major point. That's a major point. But she's trying so hard to convince Kevin and MTR that that's not the case. And we know that that is the case.
are you being respectful when you do it? So if a homeless man came up to me and that he was like, grab her by the, I don't think you can say that on there, but yeah, if you say that, probably I'd be like, get away from me.
Grab her by the what?
But if he was like, wow, you look really nice today, or you look nice, ma'am, something like that.
Understand that respect is subjective. What you may consider respect, I may consider to be, you may consider one standard respectful and another. The women who hit me on my butt, they thought they were being playful. But if I were to do the same thing, we know in the society we live in, that would be not to be tolerated. See, it's the double standards that the patriarchy allows women. You get to make the rules that suit you when you want to, and men are just saying, look at the hypocrisy of it all.
Yeah, that's a great point. It's only what's convenient. You see this a lot even with women that preach church and God and all of this other stuff. They tend to cherry pick all of the conveniences, but they leave out everything else, right? It's only what's convenient. It blows my mind every time.
And I think that's what this conversation proves. Men have to approach you the right way, and it has to be respectful. But you don't have an LED readout on your head that tells us those instructions. We just got to go shoot our shot. And if it goes wrong, then what? Then men have a problem on their hands. When a woman does,
That's a big point. That's a major point. It can be a bit of a liability for men approaching women. More often than none, men are accused of things, falsely accused. Things were read wrong. You know, things happen like this all the time. Or women get caught up and they were doing shit they wasn't supposed to be doing, and they have to answer to it. But instead of taking the heat for it, they tend to blame men. And oftentimes they would pay no never mind with even having a man arrested. So it's scary out here for men.
that no real consequence.
That's a very true double standard.
Boom, mic drop. Let me ask you guys a quick question as well. Do you think that pretty privilege exists in our society? And if so, what are the pros and the cons?
Oh, yeah. Most definitely.
I do think they exist. I used to be super, super fat and didn't wear any makeup, which I don't think makeup makes you look pretty. But I saw in my life a 70-pound weight change, and people treat you 100% different.
To the opposite side of that, I've actually been like this weight my whole life, and what comes with pretty privilege is a lot of jealousy and hatred. So with that, you just have to, I don't know, I'd say just consider yourself just a human.
So why do you think there's so much talk in our society about things like male privilege and white privilege, but we don't talk about beauty privilege?
I'm in sales, and people tell me all the time that I'm the best in the company that I used to work for because I had pretty privilege. And it's not. It's treating them like a human being and doing your job right and taking into consideration what they're saying and actively listening to them.
She's like, would you like to buy these nice things? You're like, oh, yeah. Come on. Really?
And so people can assume that you have pretty privilege, but do you do the same things that I do? And do you talk to people the same way I talk to people? No, probably not.
I want to ask a question also about compliments also. If you receive a compliment from a man and a woman, does it have different meaning to you if it's the exact same compliment?
Yes.
So isn't there a double standard there as well?
Women are better because they're most likely trying not to sleep with you. They're just genuinely enjoying
So if a
what you
man's trying to
have.
sleep with you, why is that often seen as having the wrong intention?
It's not. There doesn't mean it's the wrong intention, but if you say it in a, I don't know how, in a like gross way,
Hey, how's your day going?
I don't.
Well, once again, haven't we established that a guy can do the exact same thing, and it's, if a guy is attractive, then it's a compliment, and if he's unattractive, then it's harassment.
No. We actually proved that, or said that that wouldn't be a thing. It would just depend on the way you came up to me.
So if a homeless guy hit on you, it would have the same meaning as if, a guy who was a rock star, celebrity, high status man would?
Yeah, you take the compliment the same way. Maybe the reaction wouldn't be would be different. Like say if it's a homeless person.
So I'm gonna challenge that because I think it's sort of bullshit. So like, let's say I was walking by you, and I said, "Listen, you look absolutely beautiful today," and I put my hand on your shoulder in order to establish contact. Versus if I did that, versus if someone who you find extremely unattractive did the exact same thing and put his hand on your shoulder in Vegas. You don't think that you would take the way that I did that differently than the way someone that you find unattractive or a homeless person would?
We were actually just talking about this on how you shouldn't be touching anyone. We literally just had this exact conversation that because people are like, have a nice day, don't touch me. It doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter. Obviously, yes, it would be, like to answer the question, it would be more memorable if it was a homeless person because there's other things that come with that image. And maybe some other mental things. Like you don't know what they're going through.
So you say so people shouldn't touch. So the thing is like what I often think is very important for men to do on the first or the second date is to establish like a touch, break the touch barrier, right? So like when you walk into a door, maybe you put a hand on the small of the back or the elbow, right? When you open the chair, when they go to sit down, maybe you put it on the top of their back as in order to kind of guide them in. So you say that you have an issue with touch, but oftentimes women find breaking the touch barrier very attractive. The confidence of the man comes out in that particular situation.
I think that's two different things. If you're on a first date or second date, I already have I've allowed that to happen. And if it is somebody that you meet on the street in Vegas, doesn't matter if it's a very attractive man or a homeless person, don't touch me.
So I don't know if you remember this, but when we first had the conversation, I did touch you on your elbow when I wanted to say, can we have a conversation about that?
Cute.
Uh-oh. So there goes the whole argument. So if I was a homeless person and I did that, you'd be like, oh, like running away from me, right? So can we call BS on some of the arguments that you guys placed forward as to say that you wouldn't treat it differently if it wasn't me versus a homeless person?
Yeah, you didn't touch
But I did touch her.
You definitely didn't touch
Break
me.
the touch barrier.
Something.
You would have said something?
Yes, I don't like that.
So I just chose correctly?
I guess so. 'Cause
So I'm going to stop it right here. I'm going to post the link to the original video in this video's description. Again, folks, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and go check out Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews. It's Complicated channel, and the Godfather himself, Kevin Samuels. Until then, peace.